Alrighty then, hey everyone, Animal Man here. How is it going? Today we are back with another episode of our Super Mario 63 level designer tutorials, and in this episode we are going to be taking an extensive look at the enemies. And I did want to talk a little strategy, quote unquote, with you guys regarding these enemies, because you kind of, when you're designing your map, you want to think about how you're how you're using your enemies as a part of your map, and we're going to be talking about that quite extensively. So I've made a little pit here so that we can observe the enemies in their natural habitat, and we're going to start with number one. We're just going to go down the list. It's going to be very simple. So here we are. There's a Goomba. And I actually kind of wish that he didn't see me right now so I could show his activity outside. You'll notice that the walking sounds did not happen there. See that he kind of just wanders around when he is not in range of seeing you. But that range is pretty far. You'll notice that when he jumps, that is when he sees you and he's targeting you. He does see through walls, of course. He's not a very dangerous creature. You know, you jump on him, he's dead. If you X attack, and by that I mean spinning him, you can spin him into a wall. You can do all sorts of stuff. Like I said, this isn't a very powerful enemy. And putting one alone is not going to provide very much of a challenge for the player. So that's yeah. Let's see here. Now we do have a couple of variations on the Goomba. We have this. This is a tiny Goomba, and the tiny Goombas, and I'm actually going to stick a couple out here. The tiny Goombas are literally Goombas that are just more frail than before. While normal Goombas would, probably take some good damage, these things die very instantly and are really just designed to be annoying for the player. Just be one of those annoying obstacles from below. So anyway, then there is, of course, the giant Goomba. And it is also worth mentioning that these creatures do respawn if you get very far out of range from where they normally spawned. They come back. They do not drop a coin, though. So here we have a giant Goomba. Now the giant Goombas are a little bit more durable regarding the X attack. Not so much, but it doesn't take much to just jump on them, and that's usually the best way to take them out. Other than that, they really aren't super special. So anyway, that's the giant Goomba. Now we have the Shy Guy, and the Shy Guys are pretty interesting. I'm going to stick one out there too. Shy Guys are interesting in that they do not care about your existence. Granted, they will do damage to you, but they do not care that you exist. It is hard to kill them. They're pretty durable. You'll notice that X attack didn't do anything. But ramming them into a wall will kill them, and also jumping on them. So you guys can see the X attack doesn't really affect the Shy Guy. That's probably the main feature about him. But if you have him on a cliff or something like that, if you have him take a nice fall, he will end up dead. But anyway, there's that. Then we have the Flying Shy Guy. And the Flying Shy Guy does not target you either. The Flying Shy Guy will go back and forth, and it's in the same area all the time, so it's not like it changes areas all the time. But if you hit it once, it'll turn into a regular Shy Guy, and in that case I ran it into a wall. But if we were to take this Shy Guy and we were to stick it near the ground, we could turn it into a regular Shy Guy, essentially, probably. I don't want to run it into the wall. I did. Oh well. Yeah, walls are usually pretty fatal. I do kind of want to demonstrate that, but it's alright for now. Just know that they do become, that one hit will turn them into regular Shy Guys. Another thing that's definitely worth noting is the fact that if you were to jump on it, not only would it turn to a regular Shy Guy, but you would immediately the propeller would immediately cause you to propel upwards with a spin attack, whether you like it or not. So that's something worth noting. And then just one more hit will take out the Shy Guy. Next up, we have the Koopa Troopa. Alright, Koopa Troopas. Koopa Troopas also don't really care about your existence. They just kind of walk aimlessly. And if you hit them, they'll go into their shell, and you can use the shell as a weapon. It does not hurt you. It does not quite work like the Super Mario 64, unfortunately. But these things can be pretty useful for knocking enemies. They also don't do damage to you, unlike other Mario games, which is something that's definitely worth noting. There's also another form of the Koopa Troopa in the form of the Flying Koopa Troopa. And we're just going to go ahead and take a look at him here. You'll notice that it is stationary, so unlike the Shy Guy that goes back and forth, this Koopa is an obstacle only for stationary areas. Which means, you know, you could the Koopas do damage to you, right? They do damage to you. But anyway, jump on them once, they will turn into a regular Koopa. Jump on them twice. And you don't need to X-attack, by the way. You can just run into them. That's simple as that. Your presence reflects the shells off of you. I guess Mario's got some shell repellent on him, so that's always nice. We do have the regular shell, which is literally just a Koopa that's been jumped on. Nothing really to explain there. Let's talk about the Bomb-Omb. The Bomb-Omb is, like any other Mario game, a mobile that, when seeing you, ignites and eventually explodes. And I'll have a timer on the screen right there. It drops 1 coin. So these things, they're kind of interesting. You can play around with how these things are used. You can cause having a whole bunch of them in one area can be very detrimental. It's also worth noting regarding I already have one there. Regarding forms of attack, Mario can't really jump on them to kill him. He has to X attack or just wait for it to explode. The X attack is probably the most effective way. The explosion can hurt other enemies as well, so Mario can knock the Bomb-Omb into another enemy and cause it to take damage. Next up we have the Bully. Now the Bully is interesting. It starts off stationary, but this creature does not do any damage. It simply pushes you. And you can push it back. Now, the idea, as far as level designing goes, is that you stick this creature, this enemy, in an area where Mario does not want to fall off. And this thing becomes a very good shover-offer. In most scenarios, we see the Bully over lava. That is because Mario doesn't want to go into the lava, and the Bully pushes Mario into the lava. But this can be anywhere. This could be on an edge or anything. The only way to really kill it that we know of right now is with lava. At least that I know of, is with lava. So we can take some... oh, no, it's in tiles. But yeah, we'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Why not? Volcano, and we can take this, and the idea is there's a fight between Mario and a Bully. Mario doesn't want to get knocked into the lava, but the Bully doesn't either, and so that is a dead Bully. Next, we do have another variation, and this one is of the bully. It is a large bully. Now, the large bully is very different from the mini bully. I'm going to stick him over there. Not only does he, is he a little bit more durable, but if you take a look, it's harder for me to push him. And on top of that, it takes 3 hits, 3 times to get thrown into the lava before he actually ends up dead. So that means that was 2 times he jumped into the lava. And 3 times. This isn't really a boss. There's no way that I know of to make the game spit out a shine sprite every time you kill it, but it is simply a more powerful, probably one of the most powerful enemies in the game as of right now. We do have a cheep here, and for the cheep, I am going to go ahead and set up some water. I'm going to set up some water right there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to find our little cheepy. And we're going to stick the cheep in there. Stick 2. So cheeps are your typical fish. And they do damage. They do target you. So as you guys can see, they're targeting me. Did do damage. You can X attack to easily knock on out. And they do give you coins, which are very, very helpful for regenerating your air. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, which is simply another variation. This cheep is literally just a big cheep. It has a bigger hitbox, so Mario has a bigger chance of getting hit by him. But also, before we move on, there is one more little mechanic that I wanted to show off with the cheeps. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this platform, this platforming to demonstrate that these cheeps do have a special ability. These are your typical enemies for underwater. So if you want the player to have an obstacle underwater, this is what they can deal with. But they can also jump out of the water, like so, and attack you like that. So you can have platforms over water like that, and if there's cheeps down there, they still have something to worry about. Finally, though, and I'm not done, we're going to take a look at the cheep on land. It's very self-explanatory. They do not target you on land, but they die just as easily and do the same amount of damage. They do not run out of air or anything like that. So that's your info on the cheeps. Alright, next up we have Boo. And Boo is just like any other Mario game. If you are looking at Boo, he does not do anything. He freezes. But when you are looking away from him, he runs towards you and can do damage to you. The ways that you can make this very interesting is if you have a Boo on either side. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate this. You come into a dilemma here. If I can get this Boo's attention, it actually doesn't see me right now, which is a little annoying. You can see that I'm in a little bit of a dilemma here. And so you can kind of play around with Boos in that sense. They don't die, from what I understand. I've never found a way to kill these things, not with any power-up or anything. But you can bounce on them. So that's something worth noting. So that's the Boo. We do have a giant Boo, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Big Boo. Big Boo is an interesting character. Except not really. It's the exact same thing. It just has a bigger hitbox, so it'll be able to hit you a little bit easier because it's bigger. But other than that, it's the exact same thing as regular Boo. So next up we have the Penguin. Fun. We love penguins. They do not target you, and they do not do any damage. They are simply annoying. They are indestructible. Flippin' indestructible. Because that's what's so annoying about these penguins. They are indestructible and can cause much hazard in context of multiple enemies. So, I don't know, if I were to stick a Goomba here, then all of a sudden I'm trying to fight this Goomba and this stupid penguin is in my way. You know, just as an example. Then we have, yeah, we have that penguin. We have the flying penguin, which is a variation that flies. So we'll take a look at this. They are also indestructible, and they can be used to block off areas. I mean, honestly, that is very possible. You can jump on them. So you can use this as sort of a platform. It's also worth noting that if you have flood and your little red bar, I think I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate this because I don't know if all of you will understand where I'm going with this. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a flood. And with the mechanics of the flood, you'll see right here, this little red bar is how long I can use flood in one jump. And that does not change on the penguins. So that's kind of something that's worth noting that makes these penguins a little bit different from other things, other platforms. I'll just go ahead and keep flood there. Why not? We're going to take a look at the next enemy. And this one, we're actually towards the end here. This one is not an enemy. It is a friend. It is a bird. And I went ahead and stuck it way back there. They are mostly for decoration, but if you jump on, you can jump on them. They will start going downwards, but you can jump on them, and you can use them. And that's a bug, I'm pretty sure. Nope, never mind. You still lose. Okay, I was gonna say, we're gonna keep you there. Why not? Next up, we do have the Skelligoon. So this is a goon, I believe. Goonie and a Skelligoon. Skelligoons can actually do damage to you. And then when they die, they leave their head. And I think I need to demonstrate that again because I killed them way too fast. They do damage to you. You can see that they're a little bit slower. But then they can also do damage to you in this form. It takes a couple of hits, I think, for this. Maybe it doesn't work at all. I think you just need to jump on it. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit bugged up in that sense. But anyways, then you can also, of course, just have the heads. We do have butterflies here. This is literally nothing but decoration. Now we have some pretty complicated stuff in the form of the bullet bill. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it's like now. We can see that it is firing red bullet bills. Ow, I completely forgot that. At a very slow pace. And these you can jump on them. They do not give off any coins or anything. This is unlimited ammo, if you will. So they will spew infinite amounts of bullet bills. Now, the bullet bill is incredibly customizable. So let's go ahead and select it here. And as you can see, this is where it is on the map, so we won't worry about this. But this is the speed, and this can, I believe, this can go up to 9. So, if we look at this now, you see that the bullet bills are going much faster than before. And it's a little bit harder to dodge. So, one of those times I'm going to hit quit game instead of quit level, and that's going to be so annoying. Wait. This is how many ticks before you wait. So, what I could do is hit 50, hit apply, and then it's going to start spitting them out at a faster pace. Maybe. Was that? Maybe it wasn't much. I don't know. Hold up. Let's see here. Did that change anything? It did. Let's see here. I'm actually not sure what offset is, but let's see. If we were to turn this to 10. So you can see that it's speeding up. And we could potentially do something ridiculous like 1. 1, 2, 1. 1. Or we could maybe do 0. I wonder if we should try that out or not. I feel like we shouldn't. So as you can see, it's a little bit harder now to get past. And more than that, though, we have color. There's a variety of color. Then we have direction, left, right, or both. What both will do, I believe, is if you're on this side, it'll attack you from that side. But if you're on this side, maybe? No. I suppose not. But that's okay. Not totally sure what both does in that case, but you can set it to left or right. And then there's this option, is the chase option. And as you can see, it starts opening and closing its mouth. That shows you that it is chasing you. And what that means is that it will home in on you. Which it is not doing for some reason. Hold up. Let's see here. Chase. Apply. Maybe I hit the X instead of apply. But yeah, as you can see, they are attempting to attack us here, which is not fun. So you can have all sorts of pretty cool levels like that. Whew, yikes. Ooh, that's nice. Some of the things that people will do with bullet bills is they'll have different colors to indicate to players which ones, like they'll have a green one that chases you and then a red one that doesn't chase you, as an example, or one color indicates that it's faster than another. There's various things that you can do like that. So finally, we have a little bit of a talk on the combination of multiple enemies working in your favor. So I'm going to stick me right here. And just as an example, hold up. I want to delete this water. No, not you. There we go. Delete. And I'll go ahead and delete you as well. So for example, these Goombas we've discussed aren't incredibly powerful on their own, but let's say that we want to jump on them to kill them. Well, you can stick a shy guy up here. And that will kind of hinder Mario from jumping up there. Having a nice variety will help as well. Sticking a penguin or a bully in there to make it harder for you. And then maybe if you want a situation where you want Mario to worry about watching his back, you know, there's so many different combinations of enemies that you could go about. Ow, go away. And it also depends on the terrain, but I'm going to leave that to you guys. I do believe that we have covered every single enemy in the game. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later. Take care, and goodbye.